Okay, I'm being way too loud over here, but we're gonna go live. Hi, folks. I'm just gonna check my volume here. You guys, of course, can let me know if we need any adjustments. Okay. Check my volume here. Ooh, that's plenty loud. Okay. Aloha, everyone. Welcome to our 100 Days Kickoff. All right. I'm proudly wearing my t-shirt. Anybody else wearing your t-shirt? Wearing your t-shirt? Okay. Y'all hearing me? All right. Just give me a confirmation. Okay. Thank you. I see. Oh my gosh. Yay. Welcome, everybody. The 100 Days Project is back. 100 Days of Ukulele starts this Sunday, February 13th. And for anyone who is new, the 100 Days of Ukulele Project is part of the larger 100 Days Project. It's a global community art project where you, the individual, decides to practice some repeated creative habit for 100 days and to share it. And by sharing it, you will kind of grow your own creative habit and see the journey of it over 100 days. And I, for one, am a huge believer in this, in the practice of the creative habit, in the value of seeing and serving your own creative journey. And I think a lot of you know my mantra: practice your ukulele 5 minutes a day, because it's good for your brain and it's good for your soul. So it is really what you want to do for your own creativity. So today, for the kickoff, I wanted to talk about how to join the project, including why you should join, the different groups and platforms that we have for joining so that you can get more support. And then I wanted to share some advice from our moderators, from our alumni, folks who have done the project several years now, which is crazy to me. We can talk more about the history of the project, or my first ukulele 100 Days of Ukulele project later on if we want to, but maybe many of you already know that story. But I wanted to get into recording tips, and that's because I heard from a lot of folks that they weren't sure how to get started with recording. And if I can help illuminate some of those tips, give people an easier way to get started, then I'll try to do that. Feel free to pop your questions in the chat. Any questions you might have about the recording or 100 days. We'll try to address a bunch of questions, but I see a lot of familiar names in the chat. If you are doing the project again and you have an idea of what your project is going to look like, feel free to pop that in the chat. Even if you, I've been, personally, I've been trying to figure out what I'm doing for the project. I have a million ideas, and what I figured out was that I need to just start. I need to just sit down and be like, okay, what am I making today? Instead of trying to hash it out in my head, because I was overthinking it. I was like, well, I got to do this and all these songs that I want to do and all these projects. And it's too much. You don't need to do that. I like to say, start where you are, whatever you have, whatever equipment you have, if it's just your phone or your laptop. I like to, say whatever you're Zooming with is going to be perfectly fine for making a video. Whatever time you have to make a video to practice your ukulele is the perfect amount of time, If it's literally 2 minutes, amazing, right? If you can set aside 2 minutes a day to practice, then after 100 days, you're going to have gone somewhere, right? You're going to have built up this habit. So, yeah, well, we'll keep talking about that. All right. Yeah. Anything I need to address at the start? Okay. I'm just going to start with the basics here. I realized I left my phone over there, so I wanted to do some demos later with that, but I'll get it in a second. So how to join, right? The 100 Days of Ukulele Project started out as songs every day. And I think all of us, me included, realize that recording a song a day is a lot of work and can actually be really exciting because you get to revisit all these songs that you love. And that's my favorite thing about seeing other people do the project is finding out what songs they love, that they'll bust out, I don't know, a Tina Turner song or like, I don't know, a Smith song, or, a song that I wasn't expecting or I forgot about, a Queen song, So that's a really fun part of the project. You get to delve into your own musical history and find out all the songs you love and want to play on the ukulele. But to make it more manageable, a lot of folks have moved to more of a daily practice journal. So you can just practice, say, 5 minutes a day, record a short clip of it, maybe your best 15 to 30 seconds of that day, and share it. That's all you need to do. And I'll mention a little bit later, Christina had suggested you could also, if you're working on one project piece, record a little bit of it each day and then stitch it together. We can later talk about project ideas, ways to structure your project, if you're looking for suggestions. Yeah? But essentially, how you join is you post yourself playing ukulele every day for 100 days. If you don't make it 100 days, hey, it's what you want to do, It's all how you feel like you will grow. And if life gets busy, But I think every day that you do post is a day that you've shared something that you've done that you didn't do before. So it is just a matter of cataloging your growth, Right. 15 to 30 seconds is, I think, manageable for everybody. And you might want to post more, or there might be days that you're just like, oh, I can't. That's, today was a day. I need to take a day off. If you need to take a day off, this is the way I was thinking of it, Like, if you pick up your ukulele and play one chord every day, right? That gets you on the way. Some folks talk about, like, if you want to learn to run, what do you need to do? You need to put on running shoes every day. You don't necessarily need to run. You just need to put on the running shoes. So you need to pick up your ukulele. Okay, so record yourself practicing. You share it on one of the social media platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. This year, YouTube has always had a hashtag, in the last few years, has used hashtags. We haven't really built a community around it, but I'm thinking we could this year. If you post on one of the platforms, then you can join one of our community groups, and the community is there to support each other. Yeah, Jenny's linking to the 100 Days Facebook group. And I'm going to talk more about the groups later, but definitely having a group really helps. I'm just seeing it fly through the chat here. Melanie said, I had a plan, but it went out the window. Exactly. Start where you are, see where the journey takes you. Because you can plan, just like life, you can plan, but it hardly ever goes according to plan. And you need to be flexible with it, with your time, your own growth, with it. today you might discover, oh, I really want to go in this direction. Or I thought I wanted to go in this direction, but I realized that I'm actually less interested in that and more interested in this. Allow yourself to follow your passion. Another one of my mantras. Okay. We also invite folks who are maybe feeling like they're more lurkers to join the group and support others. So if you feel like, I'm not quite ready for this, but let me see what it's all about, feel free to join the group, join the Instagram hashtag, the YouTube hashtag. It's the same hashtag, the 100 Days Uke 2022 is going to be the hashtag, and support others. And this is super important. I'll talk a little bit about this. Well, I'll talk about it now. Overall, what I want to do with the project, why did I start the project? I did it to push myself, to push myself as a creative, as a developing musician. I had played guitar for a long time, but then I wanted to get better at the ukulele, and I also wanted to just kick my butt a little bit in terms of sharing videos, because I was a little like holding myself back from sharing videos. I wanted them to be perfect or just better quality, whatever. So finally, I just committed to this project and started pushing the videos out, and it's made all the difference in the world. I mean, I have a video on my main channel about how the 100 Days Project changed my life, so you can go and check that out. It's basically just taking my career in another direction. So what I want is for all of you, all of you watching, and every single person, every single individual. I believe each of us is a creative person, right? Has creativity inside of us. And the more we're able to tap into that creativity, the more we understand that we have power to transform ourselves, to transform the world. So on one hand, I want each individual to understand their own creative powers. And I believe by practicing a creative habit for 100 days, you can develop those creative powers. I think many of you came to ukulele because you wanted more music in your life, to understand I can make music. I love music. I want to incorporate it into everything I do, or just into my daily life. So that's a reason to do the project. That's on the creator side. On the other side of it, as a creative, as an artist, an independent artist who's always been looking for support, I want our community to learn to support artists, to understand the artist process, the creative process, because once you've done this 100 days, you can understand how much work goes into any given artist's, final product. The final statue you see, the final painting, the final play, a movie, music, album. It's accumulation. Is that the right word? It's accumulation. No, culmination. It's the culmination of days upon days, maybe more than 100 days, maybe 1,000 days of putting this kind of work into your creativity. And I want for all of us to support that. I have the most supportive community that I could have wished for. It gives me the confidence to keep trying new things. So on one hand, experiment with your own creativity. On the other hand, support others in their experimentation. So that's why I believe this project is important. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. Let's talk about why you should join, right? If you want to get better at the ukulele, if you want to, or practice, 100 days could be anything. It could be anything creative you want to try. But essentially, if it's intriguing to you, maybe a little scary to you, and you want to challenge yourself to do it, just try day one. Jenny mentioned this. What if you just do day one? What if you just record one video, even just for yourself? You don't even have to share it. Maybe you record the video and you're like, oh, that wasn't too bad. Maybe I'll share it, and then you can see, well, maybe I want to try day 2. Maybe I want to try day 3. You don't have to commit right now. If the commitment is scary to you, what I'd like to say is, like, you want to show up. You want to show up for your creative self. So to me, showing up means that you put on your running shoes, right? You pick up your ukulele. You have to build this habit of connecting with your creative self. And I call it a relationship with your creative self, that you, just like any relationship, it has to be consistent. Otherwise, you lose touch with that side of yourself, So another new quote I have for you is, consistency builds confidence. And so what I've seen in my community over time of doing this project is that after, 30 days of posting videos, 50 days, 100 days, you build a new confidence in your abilities to do whatever it is that you've been doing, right? Whether it's you're just learning to strum, you've like taken a finger picking or chord melody path, you've learned to make amazing green screen videos or collaboration videos. It's like people have gone in all these different directions with the 100-Day Project, and it's just reveals your passion, and you get to, like, us as a community, we get to watch each other as we build confidence, as we see everybody growing in their own journeys. And it's just the coolest thing. So consistency builds confidence, right? If you want to feel confident at something, you have to do it regularly, and eventually you get less scared about sharing. Like I know a lot of you have watched me and Lenny. Me and Lenny and I, we don't care anymore, right? We are so over caring because we've been doing it for so long. So you can get there if you want. Yeah, Amanda is saying it's her second year, and that she's really felt the confidence from last year. Yeah, made a huge difference in my playing and confidence. The friendships I made and the daily encouragement really helped me to show up. That's awesome. Sorry, y'all. I need to get some water here. I'm going to get water and my phone. Hold on. Okay. All right. Okay. I know. I made all these notes. And so this is like a treatise on the creative habit, right? Okay. So hopefully that helps explain, or convince you to join. And if you're not ready to join, you could just join us to observe and support, and that would be important as well. We need our cheerleaders, that's for sure, because you'll see in the groups, like, there's a lot of cheering each other on, and I have seen how the power of, like, some words of encouragement can really take someone far. So we keep it aloha in our communities, and you can join knowing that you'll get a lot of support. Okay, so our groups. We have a Facebook group, and the Facebook group is run by Jenny Selig, New York. Everybody give a shout out for Jenny, who is in the chat, and this is Jenny's 5th year, I think, doing the project, and leading the charge, and her, I guess, maybe 2nd or 3rd year leading the charge in that group and administrating. And let me give a shout out to our moderators and group experts. These are all folks who have done the project for 2 years or more and are in the group to make sure that we keep it aloha and share their words of encouragement and support. We have Christina, Dory, Valerie, Terry, Mo, Amanda, Tina, Ray, and Vanessa. And Jenny, let me know if I missed any. But yes, thank you to our mods and our group experts. It's so cool that, yeah, that all these people, they do it to give back to the community, right? Because I think we all see the value of this community in each of our individual journeys, but also, the impact that it can have on, I believe, the world overall, to make everyone feel more confident in themselves and more able to transform the world around them. Okay, so yeah, you join the group to have moral support and also to have accountability. So the moral support is just everybody around you. You're all doing the project together. You can all comment on each other's posts and encourage each other. And then in terms of the accountability, I like to quote the African proverb. I'm just finding out on Wikipedia that's an African proverb. Somebody can tell me if it is more specific than that. But if you want to go far, you want to go together. And I like to repeat this, right? If you want to go far, you go together. That if we all travel this road together, it's going to be a lot easier. And, why it's important to go through it together. I want to talk about this a little bit, right? That like in any journey, you're going to have plateaus. You're going to have these learning curves. So at the beginning of the 100 days, it's going to be really exciting, right? Everybody's like, we're going to tackle all these songs. It's going to start plateauing and maybe even dipping. You're going to feel like, man, now why does it feel harder now than it did in the beginning? You just are a little bit more aware of what you need to work on. Maybe you just are allowing yourself to tackle more difficult material, but there's going to be a feeling of struggle, and if you are in it together with other folks who are also at this plateau and this dip, you can all show up together. And that's the most important thing about accountability, that you can all show up together, meaning that you're all struggling, you're all going through it, but you're going to make it to the other side if you all go together. Yeah. And so I promise along the way, there's going to be peaks and there's going to be valleys, but you're going to just go through it together, and everyone will understand that we're on the same journey. Yeah. So that you say, like, man, it was tough today. I'm struggling with this. Can someone help me, or just tell me I'm doing okay? Sometimes that's what you need. You just need someone to say you're doing okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's all just a reminder to show up. Show up for your creative self. Show up for your creative habits. Big shout out to our support groups. And it's, so folks are asking where to post. We could talk about that. Okay. So actually, I don't know why I don't have that right there. Where to join the Facebook group. Someone already added the link in the chat. So you can join the Facebook group. And the Facebook group is probably the most developed community, mostly because Facebook makes it easier to interact with each other. It's a private group, so you got to answer some questions to join, to be admitted, to be approved to join the group. There'll be support within the group. You have the moderators and the group experts, in the group. And there's a weekly chat post, meaning that you can, aside from posting your daily videos, within the weekly chat thread, you can talk about other things that are going on. But the main feed is meant to be daily posts, yeah? On Instagram, we use the hashtag, and you're going to follow the hashtag, use the hashtag in your daily post. You can tag CL Uke Squad, and we'll reshare the milestone videos. But if you're an Instagram user, then follow the hashtag and support other people who are on that hashtag. And I was just clicking around and found that YouTube has the same functionality in terms of the hashtag. So let's use it and see what happens, you know? It doesn't really have a community feature around a hashtag, but we can just kind of go to the hashtag, the 100 Days Uke 2022 on YouTube, and there's already a few folks who've posted up there. So, yeah. Yeah, in Australia, it's going to be the 13th very soon. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So, some words of advice from our alumni, from our moderators. Jenny or Dory or other mods, if there are outstanding questions in the chat that I didn't see, let me know. Why don't I take a break right now just to see if there are any questions, and then we're going to go to advice from our moderators and alumni, and then some recording tips. I'm trying to cover all this material, but essentially, I know we're all so excited to get started on the project, and yeah, just to see where this year will lead. I think there's really no way to know where it'll end up, and it's good to have that kind of open-endedness, I think, you know. Okay, I'd love to know good mic options. I'm going to get more into that in future videos. I don't know how much I can cover about that right now, but I'll cover some of that. Yeah. Planning to concentrate on fingerpicking, interested in doing collaborations, as well as multi-tracking. Oh, fancy. Okay. Yep. Vanessa's going to review past tutorials. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, some folks are looking for a specific plan. It is really about you devising your own plan. Tim's going to work on the baritone. That's great, you know. Trying something new is, I think, a really good way to structure this project, because then each day is something different, you know? Okay. Finger picking and different strumming rhythms. Tom Waits. All right. Very cool. Okay. Year 2. 100 different songs. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty ambitious. On a lot of days, I didn't know what I was going to record until I was about to start recording. And I think that's okay too, you know. Starting with beginner songs is perfectly fine. I will say this about day 1, or just these early days. You know, like, give yourself a win, you know. Start with something that you know you can knock out. That can be a good way to start. Just like make sure that you can push through and feel good about the first few days. I like to learn a song for each letter of the alphabet. I did that my first year. Yes. Yeah. Oh, and I am wearing the t-shirt. Yeah. Okay. Good. Some folks are collecting their songs in advance, meaning like they have a spreadsheet or a binder, a folder of all of the chord charts that they want to play. That's good to do just so that you can start, thinking ahead. And, what I've found is some days you try a song and you're like, I'm not really feeling this today. What am I feeling? And I think others, you can comment on this. It's just about what you connect to that day. I think it does make a difference, right? It's a rainy day. I sing a more rainy day song. It just feels better. There's something about it. 100 days of lurking. Yeah, a lot of folks who are lurking. That's perfectly fine as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, is it okay to sing in another language? For sure. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna keep going here. I feel like I'll catch up on more of the comments. If I missed anything, please, let me know. Here's our advice from our alumni. Okay, so from Dory, done is better than perfect. This is a great one. I think this one is really important for artists. Done is better than perfect. That, the beauty of this project is that you're going to make another video the next day. So just let go of this one, And that's really hard to do sometimes. It's just to say, okay, like just push, post, publish, let it go, and then tomorrow will be better. Whatever lessons you've taken from today and the past days, you can use that going forward. So done is better than perfect. Let it be done. The beauty of this is that you can just let it be done and keep going. If you want to, you could do it again the next day. You could repeat the song and just be like, okay, this is try number 2. And you're going to see how that is. Dory continues, you're your own worst critic and your only competition. That is definitely true. Most of us are harder than ourselves than we need to be, and that was a common thread in our moderators' advice. And then the Theodore Roosevelt quote, comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah. And I've heard this one a lot. Comparison is the thief of joy. That, if you're content in what you've done, then you don't need to look at what others have done. That sometimes looking at what others have done, don't let it affect you. It's hard. It is hard sometimes to not let it affect you, especially in our kind of social media world, But I think there's so much value in cultivating, like, what is it that I'm trying to do? Have I made something today that I'm content with? Okay. Thank you, Dory. From Mo, we have, unlike the first year when I was adamant about recording a different song every day, this year I'm going to simply record a tiny bit of whatever practice I'm doing and to make it more achievable. Yep. And that's certainly a way to do it. Something else I want to mention is that, this was during the pandemic, when everybody was home, Mo would be posting videos from her bathroom. She had this setup in her bathroom. It was actually like quite luxurious looking, but basically like she's like sitting on the toilet, on the commode. I mean, with the seat down. And then like has her music up and she's playing, and the bathroom is actually a great place to record because it's a small room, you have reverberation, it can actually sound a lot better than other places to record. But it's just like a glimpse into like this is your music recording place, and it's if you can designate that as your recording place, then it becomes a more consistent habit for you, So that's something I'll talk about later, but I think that's part of making it easier for yourself to do this project, is to designate a place, designate a setup that works well for you. Yeah. Okay, and then Mo continues, I think we all save the harshest judgment for ourselves. We are much kinder and more tolerant with our friends, right? So I think, you know, if a friend showed you this video, would you be as harsh as with your comments as you would be with yourself, you know? So yeah, try to be kind to your creative self as if they were a good friend, because they're part of you. Okay, thanks, Mo. And then from Jenny, think of it as a personal journey, right? Don't compare and don't give yourself such a hard time. And I mean, yeah, this is pretty common that we do tend to just be so hard on ourselves and we compare ourselves. For me, posting incomplete and in progress works is a great way to track the 100 days. So, working on a skill that interests you for the 100 days is a great way to keep going. I found I could always find a few minutes with my uke even on the busiest days. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jenny. Terry Terry says, practice for personal improvement, not perfection. You can see a theme here, that this is a lesson to take away from the project. Practice for personal improvement, not perfection. Also, enjoy watching others' videos, but don't compare yourself to their skills. We are all on different journeys. This is very important because within the project, you're going to meet people of different levels. Folks who have been playing for a while, folks who have, say, guitar or piano or other musical background, professional performers. We've had professional performers within our groups. And even then, it's so great to see how they grow. I love that, that, like, say, Danny and Nani in our group last year, they're professional performers, but they were still showing up every day and sharing their music and talking about how they were growing with the project. And I mean, this is for me too. When I started the project, I was already a professional performer, right? So I'm starting at a different place than a lot of other folks are starting, but I still have my own journey within that 100 days. And so that's really important. We're each on a different journey. And when you watch other people's videos, recognize that and acknowledge that for yourself as well. And then last thing from Terry, above all else, have fun. Definitely. Yep. Hey, if you're not having fun, then, find a way to have fun with the project, right? If you have to let go and just say, okay, I'm going to play like my favorite silly song today, and that's a way for you to have fun, then cool. Or I'm going to call up my sister. I'm going to play a song with my kid, something like that. Then that's the way I'm going to have fun with the project, and that's what you can do. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Terry. From Christina. Christina said, last year I did some simple chord melody songs and knew I would need a few days to practice each to smooth it out. I recorded just a few seconds of practice a day until I felt like the piece was worth posting, and then I stitched all the videos together in iMovie and posted one video labeling it day X through day X. I like that. That's one that I might do this year as well. Like, this might be helpful for those who think posting practice videos every day might be boring, So again, this is for experimentation, right? That if you're practicing the same thing for multiple days and you don't want to post the same kind of practice video every day, you could say, take the culmination of all that practice and say, okay, this was day X through X practice, and I feel good about, this final product, yeah? And then move on to the next song. Okay, so cool. Thank you, Christina. Amanda says, keep it simple. You can just make it you and your uke. And then also she mentioned that she would be recording with her uke group. So if it helps, you can record with friends, because then you have safety in numbers. And then Amanda says, my advice is to be brave, have a go, have a go. Don't take it too seriously, and remember to enjoy yourself. Very important. You know, being brave is something that I feel like gets like weaned out of you, gets beaten out of you as you grow up. You know, when you're young, when you watch children, like there's all kinds of bravery, right? They're just like jumping off of high places, falling, trying things that that they know they can't do, right? Because that there's no fear, there's no self-consciousness yet. So be brave, right? Embrace that side of you that's like, I know this, I might fall on my face doing this, but I'm going to try it anyway. Because we don't get the opportunity to do that very often. Let yourself do that. Be brave. And then finally, don't try to watch all the videos or your brain will explode. And this is because in our Facebook group, and also on Instagram, I mean, Facebook group has hundreds of people posting on Instagram. I'm not sure how many, but probably, I don't know, in the dozens, maybe over 100. There are a lot of videos that get posted every day. Do your best to watch other people's videos and comment. When you watch and comment on other people's videos, then other people see them as well. And just especially, I mean, I think we all feel this way. When you see someone who needs extra encouragement, we all try to give them extra encouragement because we know that it took a lot of bravery to post that video. So watch videos when you can and comment and support others, but you don't need to watch them all because then you'd spend your whole day watching videos instead of making your own video. So do your best. Okay. And Tina posted some great stuff today, but I just wanted to share one thing that Tina shared with me. Actually, let me look this up. So basically, we did a talk like this last year, and I think I told people, like, it might be scary, but you won't die. I mean, I think it goes along the lines of be brave, right? That, like, I mean, for me, being on YouTube, being exposed to, say, public criticism, it's not easy. There are definitely times when people are unnecessarily mean, but will I die? No. I mean, I have built up a tough skin. With our group, we keep the group moderated so that everybody gets positive comments. It is part of the group's rules that we keep it positive. So you don't need to worry about that. I mean, if you want real criticism, you can totally publish it to your own Facebook page or Instagram and see what happens. But if you want to, keep it within our group, you'll get positive comments. But regardless, whatever's scary about the entire prospect for you, just know that you'll make it through, right? If you can make it through day 1, you can make it through day 2, then you can make it through day 3. Okay. Where is this? Yeah. Oh, another thing that Jenny wrote on her Instagram was that, you are your own worst critic, right? That in the end, she knows that she has a limited time on Earth and wants to make music, right? That even if she is her own worst critic, that there's no time for that. You just got to do it. You just got to keep going. And so here's the quote from Tina that's attributed to Nelson Mandela and Marianne Williamson. I don't know if it's both of them. Marianne Williamson. Okay. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You know? So it's really important, I think, that like, you know, you can keep a sense of the context, right? That it's at once self-affirming and self-effacing. What an interesting dichotomy, right? In order to embolden yourself, you need to almost feel like you need to make yourself vulnerable. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's an interesting dichotomy about the artist life. Jenny says it's all about mortality. People make music while you can. Okay, some folks are talking about online music organization. We can kind of keep collecting info about that because I don't actually know that much about that. So some people are talking about Mobile Sheets Pro, Songbook Pro. Feel free to add comments about that. We can talk about our recording tips. Let's talk about some quick project ideas that I just made a list of in case you're looking for it. So in the beginning, a lot of people did song a day, which is a lot. It's pretty crazy. So you can just do a song section a day. Last year, I focused on learning bossa nova in Portuguese, so I would only do like a verse a day or a chorus and then put it together. And that was pretty illuminating for myself. But it made it way more manageable to know that I was only learning one verse. If you're a high G player, you could try low G. Try restringing your ukulele and then for 100 days only playing low G, or vice versa. If you like low G and you want to try high G, you could do that. Trying the baritone, I think Timo said that he was doing that. If you're a singer, you could try only playing instrumental pieces. If you're more of an instrumental player, you could try only doing singing and playing, singing and strumming pieces. If you want to try finger picking, you could slowly, start with some easy finger picking songs and then work yourself up to playing tab and chord melody. You can work on collaborations. It's been really fun seeing folks within the group collaborating, folks who've never met each other, but over the 100 days have gotten to know each other, and then they begin collaborating. And then also gear that I know some folks wanted to learn how to use the looper, have gotten pedals, want to make better videos. Maybe they are doing more video editing or getting different kind of video gear or audio gear. I mean, there's no pressure to get gear, but if it's interesting to you, then you can try that, and you have the means to do it. Really, and this is always going to be true, that the gear does not make the art better. Just like a better ukulele does not make for a better song or performance. It really is about the player, So just like Jake Shimabukuro could pick up a $50 ukulele and make it sound amazing, but then a beginner player could be holding a $3,000 ukulele and not know what to do with it, So it's never about the gear. But if you wanted to start playing with gear, then that's something that you can add within this project. I wanted to mention this too. Angie had the comment to clean the space on your phone. If you're using your phone to shoot, that you're going to find that you're going to run out of space pretty quickly depending on how many takes you do. And then I've also heard this comment from other folks, is that just limit the number of takes you do, right? That like, oh my gosh, that's my belly. If you're, if, I bet like the alumni in the chat can talk about this, right? That like, oftentimes, you'll do a take, you'll be like, I can do a better one, I can do a better one, I can do a better one. And in the end, you still just go with the first take, So that can happen a lot, that you're a little bit self-critical. But in the end, sometimes the first take is the most honest, and honesty, the authenticity of like connecting with the song is what comes through, So limit yourself, right? Maybe only three takes, and just say whatever the best one is, I'm gonna go with it. And yeah, it's okay. Okay. Oh, trying a different language. That's what I did last year. Trying a different genre of music. Yeah. There's just so much joy in finding the music that you love and then learning to play it. It's pretty much driven my whole life, my whole artistic career. So, I find, well, just in the last week or two, I've just been listening to more music, like trying to parse out what it is I want to work on. And it's been so much fun. I've just been revisiting songs that I love and understanding, like, okay, where have I come from and to? And that, like, last year I wanted to work on a certain style of music. Where am I now? I'm in a different place now, So that's important to recognize and just embrace where you are. There's time. Okay. Terry said, if you've hit 5 takes, take a break and come back in 10 minutes. Yeah, actually, breaks are important as well. Good. Yes, a lot of people are talking about too many takes. Yeah. And taking breaks. Taking breaks is important as well. Something that I found for myself is actually, if the takes are getting kind of stale, that to either speed up or slow down the tempo, because then it makes it feel like a different song, and it helps you to stay connected. Oh, Christy, this is a good question. Yeah, I'll do a better job of looking at the questions now. So if you have a question that I didn't answer, feel free to pop it in the chat. When you save your personal YouTube account, how do you keep from getting copyright violations? Don't worry about the copyright violations. If you get a copyright claim, it means that they are just sharing any money you're making on the video, and for the most part, they're not going to take down the video. There's like very, very, very few musicians now who are pulling down videos because they don't want them shared. I think the Eagles were one of the last holdouts. Like, they would make everybody take down any covers of Hotel California, and I think they finally gave up. They finally had their lawyers work something out. So copyright violations or copyright claims are not a problem. I'm posting music videos all the time, and they just share the revenue. I think that's really the only consequence that comes from it. So I don't think that's something to worry about. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the recording tips. So I've mentioned this already, but start where you are. Start where you are means if you just have a phone, right? If you just have your laptop, then that's all you really need. An iPad. I think if you folks in the chat, why don't you tell me what your setup is right now, what your recording setup is right now. And we'll just have that in the chat. That can be, reference for other people as well. But then if you have questions about your given setup, I can take a look as well. So, because it's 100 days, you have time to develop your system of recording over the 100 days. You don't have to have it all set up right now. So you can just start wherever you are and develop it over time. Now, if you're using a cell phone, let's talk about cell phone first, because I think a lot of people are using their phones, right? I also see USB mic and QuickTime. We'll talk about that as well. Android, I don't know anything about Androids, but I would assume that it's pretty similar. iPhone or iMac with a mic, iPad, webcam. Yep. Tori said, I stick my iPhone on a pile of books. Yep, exactly. And then like a mini tripod, iPad, iPhone. Just got a Shure MV88. That's like a microphone that goes into your phone. iMac with a USB microphone. Good. Desktop with external mic. Great. These are kind of all, the places to start. So some basic tips about recording, and these are kind of just general photography tips, right? Is that you want good lighting, right? So if you are on your video mode, I think somebody had asked, selfie camera versus the rear camera, whatever's easiest for you, whatever's easiest for you. But if you just on your selfie camera, that you're looking for your own best angle. And I mean, this is actually, I think, a good thing to know in our day and age. Like, what is your best angle? How do you frame yourself? So framing and lighting are two easy ways to start having a better video, right? That how do you want to see yourself, So you're just looking at yourself walking around your space being like, okay, the lighting here is good. A lot of lighting depends on how the light goes into your eyes. And this is really important. I mean, you can see in my own image right there. Oh, good. You can kind of even see this, right? That I am in front of my window, right? And so I am trying to use the natural light from my window. I love natural light. I cannot stand a ring light, but I know a lot of folks, they have a darker place, and they like need to record at night, so then they use a ring light. That's perfectly fine. And these days, now that everybody's on Zoom, they know how to do that. But really, how do you angle so that you get light in your eyes? And you can see the light in your eyes because you will see that you have a bit of light in your iris, right? That kind of like white, bright spot in is it the iris? The pupil. And the pupil? I don't know. No, it's the iris. It's like the dark ring in your eye. Okay, so part of that is angles, right? Here. So if you angle the phone low, then you're going to get this angle looking up at you, which is generally known to be unflattering, right? And then you can, if you angle it a little bit higher, then you can have it pointing maybe more down at you. You want to kind of have it at eye level. So that requires either propping it up on some books or propping it up using a tripod. Yeah. What I personally like, is for you to have the phone or have the image back far enough where you can see the instrument, part of the instrument. That, to me, it's like if you see an ukulele video, but all you see is the person's face, you don't see the instrument, I feel like it's kind of incomplete. So try to tell the story with the image, right? If the story is, I'm playing the ukulele, then try to have the ukulele in there. You can also, of course, shoot vertical if that's easier. Vertical, you can capture the ukulele a lot easier, and at the same time, it's easier to post on social media. Yeah, so of course, do that if it's easier for you. So there's a concept called the rule of thirds, and this can just be something that you aim towards for photographers, you might be familiar with this, that you want the eyes, right? Instead of having everything in dead center, right? So if everything is dead center, this looks really weird that I'm doing this, but if everything in your image is dead center, then people are only just looking at one place. Whereas if you have some angles going on, you want the eyes kind of lined up on the top third of the frame, right? That's like where I'm naturally sitting. And then you want different elements of the video at the thirds. This is getting a little more into, composition, like the kind of the art and the design of a composition, but I think, helps improve the look of your video. So how do you frame it so that your eyes are at the top third and that you can also get the ukulele in the video? Yeah. And you can have background items. Background items are perfectly fine. They help you tell the story of your video, right, with the image. And you want to ideally, get both the lighting in the eyes and then the rule of thirds. So that is the reason why you need to make sure that your phone is elevated and placed so that you get your good angles, right? So I don't know. I've had a lot of practice in finding my best angles, but I think it's for everybody to figure out what is your best angle. Okay. In terms of the exposure as well on a phone, on my iPhone at least, you can tap on it, right, and then you'll get this yellow square that you can use it to hold it down, right, and then you lock the exposure. So that way if the sun is changing, the light is changing, it should hold in place. And that is also a way that you can, once it's locked, you can actually use it to raise the brightness. I don't know if you can see that. You can raise the brightness and then you can dim it. So, now I'm just looking. I can look at myself. It's very awkward. Anyway, so once you've locked it, yeah, you can slide it up to make it brighter. There you go. You can slide it down to make it dimmer, and you can hold that exposure. So you could use it as an opportunity to play with the settings that already live on your camera. Yep. Okay, on your iPhone camera. With a laptop, the beauty of the phone is that you can just click record once you have it set and go. The microphone that lives in the phone, it might not be that great, especially for ukulele, if you're playing ukulele and singing, that the uke can sometimes overpower the voice. So having the mic a little bit higher and closer to your mouth, right? The mic is down here. Having the mic a little bit higher and closer to your mouth means that you might capture a little bit more voice than the uke. So that is something to position for. Also, if you are in a smaller room and a more padded room, then you are going to get better sound as well. Yep. So if you record and listen back, and that is a big part of this practice as well. If you record and listen back and you're like, ooh, why does it sound like I'm in a warehouse? Yeah. Try to move into a smaller room. try to well, just try it out, right? If you actually move, say, into your bathroom and you record in there, it's like, oh, why does it sound different in here? It's a smaller space, right? Then you have less less diffusion of sound. You know, you're enclosing the sound more. So if you record yourself in a corner of a room, right? If you have it so that the microphone is pointing towards the corner of the room and you're playing from the corner of the room, you'll get better sound. So it's just a way to find an enclosure for you making the recording. So if you don't have a microphone yet, those are ways that you can improve the sound. A smaller space, a more padded space, and then like tucking yourself into a corner. So those are some free ways to start. Yeah. With on a Mac, you can use QuickTime, which is a free app. You can use Photo Booth. Just fire those up and just make sure that you're recording at the highest quality that's available. And you can use the internal mic, or you can use a USB mic. Like I said, you know, whatever you use to Zoom is going to work. And the laptop, the nice thing about the laptop, I mean, iPad and iPhone are kind of the same. You just have to make sure that you can find a way to elevate an angle so that you can capture the best light and framing. The laptop you can move around as well. It's a little bit harder to set up on something, but it's the nice thing about the laptop is that you can actually have like a really big image looking at yourself. Oh, I think somebody had said, how do you look at the camera? You know, you don't even need to look at the camera. I would say just concentrate on the performance, and you can, if you want, you know, the lens itself is over here, but it can be awkward to do that. You can either just look at yourself or look off camera, you know, like pretend like you're performing for somebody over there, and that's perfectly fine too. Yeah. And you can play with it too. You can be like, oh, I look awkward doing that. Let me try this. So a lot of this is like a process, a cycle to just kind of figure out what you like. You know, you are developing your own recording taste. Let's see. Let's talk about external mics. So what I'm using here, this is the Shure MV7. This is both an XLR and a USB mic. There are a lot of USB mics now, or phone-friendly mics that you can plug directly into your phone. And again, the key is playing with where it is placed so that you get the best sound. Some people like the mic being in the shot. Some people don't want the mic to be in the shot, you know. I will be making more videos about gear coming up, mostly just because especially when it comes to microphones, I love playing with microphones and understanding how they work, how they're going to capture the best sound. There's a difference between, say, condenser mics and dynamic mics, you know, mics that are geared more towards rejecting outside sound and capturing a more direct sound, or mics that are better for capturing the full room sound. If you have a quiet space, then getting a condenser mic is going to capture both your ukulele and voice in a more in a higher fidelity way. But if you have a lot of noise, like right now, my air conditioner is blowing and you can hear it. I mean, it's pretty loud. If it's something that you can turn off, if you can turn off your AC or your fan, I guess a lot of people are in winter. If you turn off any external noises, that helps, just to be in a quiet place, allowing the loudest thing to come through be your instrument and your voice. Yeah. I think I'll have to outline the external mics later on, in more detail. But with USB mics, if you're recording into your laptop, there are so many right now that are, really designed for like people who are Zooming from home. All you have to do is plug it into your computer. It'll work right away. You can just go to your settings, make sure you have chosen to use that microphone, and use that microphone, use your own simple laptop video recorder, and try that. Again, lighting matters. Again, framing matters, that do your best to adjust those things. If you want to do some basic editing, then iMovie is free on Macs. The one I like for the phone is called InShot. If other people have phone apps that they like, InShot, I really like. I feel like there's just a lot of flexibility with that app. That's pretty much what I have. I can, if you have more specific questions, say about mics and such, we can get into it. So, the next step beyond that is talking about something called interfaces. Like this XLR mic has to go into basically a converter, right? That's going to take the sound and bring it into your computer. But then you can get really high fidelity sound. I happen to care about that. You don't have to care about that. There's a range of mics out there, USB mics, from simple ones, like, I don't know, I'm sure Amazon has like $40, $50 ones, to fancy ones. I tend to get the fancier ones just because I can. And I'm live streaming and performing and whatnot. But you could borrow someone's USB mic and just say, hey, can I try this? Let me know. Like, can I hold on to this for a few days? Give this a try, play some songs on it, and see if you like it. I think that it's always nice to try a mic before you just go and buy it, I don't think they're allowing that now with COVID and everything, but maybe you could do it with a friend or with neighbors. Some people are talking about the acapella app. That was super fun last year, or in the past years, to see people collaborating using the acapella app. Okay, let me see. I will see if there's any comments here. Yeah, a lot of people are using that Shure mic. Okay. Yeah. Phone camera quality is just, it really is amazing these days. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I remember there were people who were sharing their photos about their setup, because also people have a holder for their music, right? While they have a tripod so that the camera can be at the right angle, but then they also have a holder for the music that's right next to it so that they can look at the music. And you can also, just tape it to the wall, tape it to the phone. There's different ways to go about it. It's kind of fun to see what people come up with. You can really MacGyver it, as people say. You can really just kind of figure out how to make it work. Clamp my phone to a chair. That makes it, sets it at the right height. I'll upload the video to Facebook and YouTube and then delete it. That's really great if you have a YouTube. Everybody can make a personal YouTube, and you can just upload stuff there and not share it. You can make it unlisted or make it private, and then you can later go and download that video. They do compress it a lot. I think Most people won't care about that, but if you want to keep it in, 4K or whatever, then you're not going to be able to do that. But it is a good way to have a storage for your videos if you don't care about them being super high fidelity. I mean, they're still in HD probably. I think they're still in like 720 HD, but they get compressed a lot. Jenny said, at some point between year 1 and year 2, I learned to look at the camera on my phone rather than myself. It takes a while. Melanie has a USB mixer plugged into the MacBook and the webcam. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that definitely gets into some fancier territory once you have a mixer. But then you can plug in your ukulele and get more direct sound that way while getting the microphone sound. Okay. Natural light. Still mainly looking at the chord chart. That's fine too. Yeah, no worries. Okay. Landscape is better for YouTube. Ring light when it gets darker. Yep. Yeah. It is harder when you have to sit further back and then you don't have the microphone. But again, the smaller space, trying to be in the corner of your room. Sometimes I sit on the floor and I put my phone I just prop it up on the couch. And I like that just because and it's a little cozier and it's just exactly the right height. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is nice to see. This is this is something that's a little bit more advanced, but if you want a more cinematic look, then you want to choose 4K and 24 frames per second. You want to choose 24 frames per second. If you are in like 30 HD or 60 frames per second, you get that like what they call soap opera effect, like that kind of like high action effect. But I happen to like the more cinema film look, and that's at 24 frames per second. But again, these are things that you just develop over time. Photo booth and Yeti snowball. What are folks using to collaborate? I'll ask you guys. What are you using to collaborate? Yeah, you can use GarageBand. Okay, all right. Okay, I think, yeah, any more questions? The last thing that I'll talk about is just this idea of the creative habit. How have you set it up for yourself, or how can you set it up for yourself to make it easier to record a video, to make it easier to practice for 5 minutes a day, to make it easier to stay consistent with this daily habit. And I'd love to hear any tips from folks who have done the project. So what I'll talk about is just like some good ways to build a new habit. And so I would say the first thing is to designate a time and place. Do any of you guys have a regular time and place for recording or for making these videos or doing your ukulele practice? It could be Oh, or for recording the videos, meaning that you have good light, you have a setup. And this is maybe something that you work out over the 100 days, right? Like, I know this corner of my room is cozy, has good light. If I angle this way, I get pretty decent sound, so this is going to be my official recording place. Or I know this time of day I get the best light, so I'm going to just try to get my recording done during that time. Back in my San Francisco place, I mean, even here too, but there would be like this peak time of day for me to record in the afternoon. And if I missed it, then I would be getting sunlight in my face and it would throw off it would be blinding me and also be blowing out the video. So it was kind of like I needed to get everything done in that time frame. It is something good to know that, like, I mean, if you designate it's your bathroom, right, then that's perfect. Your bathroom is available all the time. Well, but how do you set it up then to accommodate what you're trying to do with it, you know? So that's part of it is having a regular spot. Yeah, Lynn said she found that having a designated place really helps so that you don't have to set up and pack up every time, you know? And that's good. Another part of building this creative habit is actually just to leave your ukulele out. If the people you live with are okay with that. But I would tell my students, like, put the ukulele on your pillow, you know? Well, after you make your bed in the morning, put the ukulele on your pillow. And then you know that before you go to bed, at least you have to pick up the ukulele. So, you can play a chord, play a song before you go to bed. Some people make it a ritual that they, play with their kids or they play for their parents, on a Zoom call. I know people who do that you make a routine of it, that you put the ukulele somewhere, maybe you put it in front of your TV, if that works for you. I know some people are in the car a lot, like picking up their kids or they are commuting. Then if you have a car-friendly ukulele, like one of those plastic ones or carbon fiber, you can leave the ukulele in your car, and then every time you get it in the car that when you have a break, you're going to make a little stop. You're going to wait for your kids and you're going to pick up the uke and practice. Or the car is actually a great place to record because you're enclosed. You can actually play quite loud and the enclosure of the car makes the sound reverberate. I mean, the car is such a great place to listen to music. So that is something that you can practice. Yeah. Oh, you're asking about the uke hanger. Yeah, this uke hanger back here. It's a mic stand with different uke hangers on it. My uke tree. A lot of people ask about it. Yeah, I just made it. Very DIY. I have to make a video eventually telling people how I did it. But, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's not cheap because each of the uke hangers and then the mic stand itself is like, it adds up. But it is convenient for me. Yeah. Yeah, for the first timers, yeah, that's what we've been talking about this whole video. So you can always go back and watch this video from the top if for the folks who are asking about how to get started. Really, it's just that you need to start. Whatever your first practice video is, you just share it. Like, go back to the beginning of this video and you can watch it and find out all about how to join the project. So how to how to establish this creative habit, designating a time and place, leaving your ukulele out, starting small. Starting small is really important about any habit. That if you want to learn to meditate, that you don't want to start with a 20-minute or 40-minute meditation. Maybe you only start with 5 minutes, maybe you only start with 2 minutes. If practicing 5 minutes a day is too much for you, maybe you just practice like a few chords a day, 2 minutes a day, 1 minute a day, just one chord a day. Maybe you just pick up your ukulele every day. But it is really just about establishing the showing up. First you show up, establish the habit by showing up, and once you show up, then you can begin to carve out what that practice is. You can take that habit in different directions. So I think the final part of any kind of habit is making sure that you're having fun with it. That if you find that you're hitting any kind of struggle point that's not just you resisting it, how can you adapt it to make it more fun for yourself? So part of it is joining this group, right? Doing the habit with others. Joining the group means that other people are going to be there supporting you, doing it with you, accountable, keeping you accountable. That doing it with a group means that you feel less that it's just on you, right? So how do you make it fun for yourself? You can join a group to have support. You can also give yourself some sort of reward, whether it's like a visual tracker. There was a fill-in, like a color-in ukulele drawing that we posted on the Facebook group where there were 100 pieces of the ukulele. The ukulele was broken up into 100 pieces, and you could color in each day that you completed in the 100 days. So that's a way to do it, is just that reward of like, I did it, I'm going to cross off this day, right? You can give yourself some other kind of reward that, like, say if I make it to day 50, I get myself a new microphone, something like that. If I finish today, I get to eat a piece of chocolate. I don't know. Find yourself a way to keep yourself rewarded. So make it fun for yourself, right? Maybe after a certain number of days, you're going to reach out to people to do a collaboration. I think that ultimately is why we have our 100 Days group. That knowing that you're going through the journey with other people, it makes it more fun, it makes it more rewarding, and at the end, it's just so cool to know that you've done it with all these people across the world. And there are hundreds of people in the group. In the past, there have been thousands. So probably by the time we get the project going, there will be more. So last year we made these shirts, the 100 Days of Ukulele 2021 shirts, and it's somewhat based on that coloring sheet that I was talking about. This is designed by Jenny's husband. And it's, don't do the project just so that you can get the shirt, but it is pretty cool to get the shirt and be reminded, yes, I did it. I made it. I'm honestly, if you didn't make it through the project, you could still get a shirt. But if you even done day one, then you are part of the project. If you've even done day one, you're part of the project. Even you haven't done the project at all, I think there are actually still a few of these shirts left on my website. You can go to cynthialyn.com/merch. If you go to my merch page, there is still, I think, like just a couple of shirts left. So you can grab one if you want the 2021 shirt. Okay. You can still download that coloring sheet on the Facebook group. Yeah. Cool. Yes, plugging Jenny's husband, Dan Funderburg, who designed this shirt. Yeah, super cool. So, yeah, I think that's where we'll wrap up. Will there be a 2022 shirt? I'm pretty sure there'll be a 2022 shirt. Now that we've established the shirt thing. If it's incentive for people to get through the project, then hey, we might as well do it. Also, I mean, it's a really great way to commemorate the project. Yeah. All right, everyone. So, very excited to see everybody's day ones. Go for it. I know that it's going to be an exciting journey for all of us. It always is. No matter how far you get, you go somewhere, and that's the important thing. You've tried something new and you've stretched yourself in a certain way. You've built this relationship with your creative self, and that is super important. So, if there aren't any final questions, we'll wrap it up there. Yeah. I can't believe it's already here. It's coming around again. Like the Carly Simon song, right? All right. Any last questions? Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jenny's putting a bunch of links for the last, for those who are just joining, 100 Days FAQ, the 100 Days Facebook group, follow the hashtag, and also on the Patreon feed, this is the latest post. It is a public post, so you can get access to those links and access to this video as well. I will try to keep giving you more. I'm thinking of it as like a tech and check-in, a check-in and tech-in, check-in. I just like the way that flows. But basically, I think we can talk more about tech, talk more about how to keep going with the project, what we're getting out of the project. Mostly because I think that it's good for the community to get together and know that we're still going, right? We're going strong. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, congratulations. Day one. Let's do this. Super stoked. Everybody, yeah. Remember, 5 minutes a day. It's good for your brain. It's good for your soul. I'm just going to repeat all my quotes. Consistency builds confidence. Show up for your relationship with your creative self. Yeah. All right. Aloha to you all. Mwah. And happy 100 days. Woo!